This is CAF TV. Welcome, everybody. I'm Alex Bastiabansky, bringing you all the action from the Canadian Academy of Football. On the show today, we're going to catch up on all the game scores from the past weekend in the CAF Under-14 Supergroup. Also, I'll have a feature story on 3 different players today. Plus, Leo Vicari will join me here in the studio to discuss some exciting new developments with his Dragon Force program. That's coming up later. But first, a story on another Vicari, Leo's son, Kai. Now, while it's been a bit of an up and down season for DFC in the CAF Supergroup, Kai has been a model of consistency for the Dragons. The midfielder has shown all year why he's one of the province's top young players, and we take a closer look now at his game in the CAF Player Profile, brought to you by Leica Sports. Leica, your passion, our commitment. Cool, calm, and collected. Just 3 words to characterize DFC midfielder Kai Vicari, but they describe him to a T. He's an unflappable, talented presence for the young Dragon squad who brings a variety of talents to the pitch.
I believe that I am pretty good with the ball at my feet, confident, taking defenders one-on-one. My passes, my through balls to my wingers or my striker.
Kai brings creativity. He's a playmaker. He always has the ability to see a game 2 or 3 passes ahead of time, and he's that key player that connects our defenders to our strikers. Yeah, every time he has that ball, he's always a threat. You know, his right foot, left foot, his ability and presence in the 18, it's incredible. We're lucky to have him.
A certain South American superstar is the player Vicari admires most.
Alexis Sanchez from Arsenal. He's really confident with the ball. He can pass the ball. He's really good at dribbling. He can shoot. He's a clinical finisher. He's just a really good all-around attacker.
One area Vicari will never shy away from is the physical elements of the game. At times, it's gotten him into a bit of hot water, but he makes no apologies for it.
It's part of the game, so I, of course, have to do that in order to win the ball for my team. If I have a foul, so what? That's a part of the game, right?
And I think it's part of his character, but it's part of being a footballer, as we call it. You grow through the motions, and he's starting to learn himself moments when he needs to get involved and not. So Kai is really good. At picking up the cues that we need and that we tell him ahead of games and what to see, when to close down. He leads on and off, with the ball, without the ball, and he's a great kid.
Well, as you'll have noticed if you've watched the show often this year, the name Nick O'Reilly tends to pop up with regularity when we're featuring CAF Academy Supergroup highlights. The talented 14-year-old is one of the league's top scorers and all-around players, and we find out now just what it is that makes O'Reilly's game so special. He's been virtually unstoppable this year. CAF Academy's Nick O'Reilly has stepped up in the biggest moments when his team needs him the most. He's a dynamic player that brings a multitude of talents to the pitch.
I think I bring speed, power, and precision. I think I can run the wing very well, pass the ball very well, and cross it. So I think that's what I bring to the team.
O'Reilly has spent his entire soccer career with the Guelph-based program, and his talents haven't gone unnoticed. Recently, he was chosen to play among some of the best players Canada has to offer.
And we are very proud of him because this year he's one of the players that is playing for the provincial program at the Ontario Soccer Association.
It was a great experience. I played against Quebec 3 times, and it was probably one of the best experiences playing soccer of my life. So I really enjoyed that. I met a whole bunch of new players and different coaches and different outputs on soccer, so it was pretty amazing.
And it's very rewarding and we are very happy having a kid that comes through our program that is one of the other kids and is showing and leading the way for everybody else on success.
The most immediately noticeable thing about O'Reilly's game is his scoring ability.
Yeah, it's always been there for me. I've done it since I was young. I play on the left side, but I like to shift to more central area to get the ball. And I guess I just have the determination to score and make our team win.
And once he puts the ball in the net, the 14-year-old celebrates like no other player in CAF.
Well, most of them are from basketball. Some of my favorite basketball players, like James Harden, like the Stirring the Pot is from him, and like basketball is my second favorite sport, so I guess I kind of intertwine with them as well. So it makes it like a kind of like between each thing. So and that's what I get my celebrations from.
Welcome back to CAF TV. Joined in the studio now by Leo Vicari, who is the head coach of the Under-14 Supergroup Dragon Force Academy. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, some exciting developments we're going to talk about actually. What's going on is DFC is an affiliation with FC Porto. You could certainly do a lot worse. And FC Porto, you know what, I'll let you explain what's been going on because you had camps a few months ago, but some big stuff has been happening over the last couple of weeks. So what went down?
Yeah, so back in the spring, we had FC Porto come in and they did some camps for the kids over the March break. Since then, we've nurtured the relationship with Porto and basically made it a stronger bond and asked them for more of a commitment. And so in the last week, Jose, their business developer, came over and they had quite a few meetings with the community, members of the community, the mayor, and you know, potential partners and things like this. So they're excited. They're excited to come to Canada, and this week, hopefully, they're you know, crossing the T's, dotting the I's, so to speak, on all the fine details.
So now it's just more official, basically, than it was before. Before it was just, were they just sort of checking it out to see what the connection was like and deciding whether they were going to go forward as well? And now it's becoming official. Is that what it is?
Yeah, exactly. I think when they first came over, they wanted to see what Canada was all about and what the soccer culture in Canada is all about. And of course, you know, before heading into any business venture, you want to you know, make sure you check out all the details and make sure that it's a viable option for them. So. And they like what they saw, and the camp was one of the biggest reasons that they wanted to continue on. The enthusiasm from the kids and the amount of kids that we had at the camp was a positive. Are
you guys going to be, or will you be the first in Canada that they've been affiliated with or associated with that you know of?
Yes, if everything gets finalized, we will be the first one in Canada, second one internationally outside of Portugal. The first one was they have in Bogota, Colombia. And they've had huge success down there, and they're continuing to grow, and we're the next one.
So what's this going to mean for the kids in the DFC program then?
Well, for the kids, I mean, they're super excited to be associated with a big European club is you know, exciting for them. And what it means is they'll have eyes and ears from Porto, actually in Bradford at our academy. Watching them every day, day in, day out, while they're training. So opportunities for them to go to Portugal will happen. It could happen at any moment.
Right. Now,
and vice versa. They could send players to
you guys.
Yeah.
So eyes and ears, as in Porto is actually going to have people they will have sent over, or people here that are associated with Porto that are then going to be watching you guys more closely.
They have two of their coaches from the Dragon Force school that were hand-selected to come here and start this project. So they're not associated, they are actually
FC Porto
trained coaches with tons of experience.
I know how the players feel about this because I had a chat when I've interviewed the players from DFC before, and I've talked about them being associated with FC Porto. I know how excited they were. As a grown-up and as a huge football fan yourself, even though, as we discussed, he's a guy like I am, but I mean, FC Porto is obviously an incredible team, a huge organization. What is it like for you and for the other grown-ups on the team who are coaching the team? It's just as thrilling for you guys probably to be associated with this.
Absolutely. You know, I feel like a kid again, and having worked with those guys at the international camp.
Yeah.
You know, it was a thrill just to see how they work and you know, how they train the kids and their philosophy and everything else. I learned from them quite a bit from just that 1 week.
Right.
So to have them come over actually work alongside with them, you know, on a full-time basis. I mean, things can only get better from here, and it's really exciting for me. So
Yeah, the kids also mentioned that there were things that they had already picked up on the Porto systems and things like that, and then the FC Porto way of doing things.
Yeah.
Give us an example of some of the stuff that the kids have actually learned.
So, for example, in our training, we Porto's sort of ideology is that kids must always learn to do a skill or technique under pressure.
Right.
So when we say under pressure, always with opposition. So nothing is static and nothing is without opposition. So it's more game realistic. So they've learned to use a certain skill under pressure,
In
and you
certain
can see it in games.
situations,
So
yeah.
so you can see it out on the field.
You've noticed this already with the team, with the super group team.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. My kids are now starting to be comfortable doing step overs and spins and things like that. You'll see that regularly in our games. So it just gives them more confidence, you know, in a game
In
situation.
their situations. But we're going to mention this a few times, but dfcacademy.ca if people want to find out
Yes.
more about this. And very quickly, are kids from outside DFC able to attend these camps?
Absolutely. We welcome all kids that are interested in soccer.
Okay.
The camps are not restricted to just DFC. It's open to anybody.
Okay, we're going to talk about that more when we come back. More CAF TV in just a moment. Welcome back to CAF TV. I'm still joined here in the studio by Leo Vicari, the Under-14 Supergroup coach for Dragon Force. We've been talking about some exciting development with FC Porto and their affiliation with FC Porto. And of course, if you want to find out more about that, go to the Dragon Force website, which is dfcacademy.ca. Right now, we're going to talk about actually some more basic stuff, just in case people missed the first episode when Dragon Force was on. What DFC is, what is the program? Bradford. You're located out of Bradford, but what is DFC? When did it start? Why?
We started about a year ago, last November. We saw a need for a high-level training academy in that area. Anything north of the GTA, there was a void there, and so we thought this was a great opportunity to start an academy. And so now we have programs from Little Dragons, we call them, all the way up to U14, and we're adding more age groups as time moves on.
Girls
so,
as well?
Not yet.
Not yet, but on the way?
Definitely on the way.
Yeah.
That's one of our main goals right now is to add girls programs.
So the Under-14 Supergroup, you guys have been a lot of fun to watch. Right now, you've got about a 500, right? You are 500. You're 5-5 now.
We're 5
after this
and 5.
past weekend.
Yeah.
It was a huge game. Unfortunately, this happens from time to time. I was in British Columbia. The cameraman that I had hired to do highlights, unfortunately, had a medical emergency, could not be there. This is why we don't have highlights this week. We are going to have, hopefully, a couple of clips of what happened in this game, but they played Epic, who's the first place team on Sunday, and it was a heck of a game. You said you took it right to them. You lost 2-0, but you were really happy with the way they played.
Absolutely. In the last few weeks, the boys have come together and they're playing nice flowing soccer now. We struggled there near the beginning of the season, but now they've put it together and they have a better understanding of how the game is played.
Right.
And guys are stepping up. And yesterday we played Epic, and you know they're a great squad. They have great skill up and down the field, and the boys came out to play and they took the game to Epic. We had plenty of opportunities and just
Missed a penalty shot, unfortunately.
we had
Yeah,
those things happen. I mean, even the pros miss. But
Of course.
So, but we had a bunch of other chances that we just didn't capitalize on, and it's nice to see that that now they're stepping up and they can compete with the best in the
and
province.
Epic I mean, they've been the best all year. They're undefeated, so
Yeah.
no shame in that. And losing 2-0,
No,
and
absolutely
played really
not.
well. You know, it's this is something also that Luis Andres had mentioned to me. And Luis is the founder of DFC. Is the fact that you want to do well, but the record is secondary. It's all about developing those players, and from a development standpoint, I'm sure you've been happy with the way they're playing so far this year.
Absolutely. I mentioned earlier that now they're starting to understand the flow of the game and when to slow it down, when to attack, when to switch the field. All these sorts of things are more important than the results.
Right.
And an understanding of the game is more important.
Right.
And developing the skill, obviously. So
I wish we could cover everyone on the team, but what we're going to do is we're just going to talk about a couple of the standouts so far this year. Liam McCarroll has been a lot of fun to watch. He's one of the best strikers in the league and a big guy. And you know what, at that age, you see a 13, 14-year-old, and a lot of the time they don't have control of their bodily movements. They're still getting into it. He seems so sure of himself out there. And I'll tell you, when he turns on the jets, he just leaves players in the dust. Like, he's so fast. Just a great player to watch.
Yeah. When he came to me, he grew up playing center back, believe it or not. And one day I said, I think this guy's a striker.
Yeah.
So we switched him up, and ever since we moved him up there, he's played striker, and he's still learning the position. But like you said, he can turn it on in a heartbeat, and he's fun to watch.
Scored some dynamite goals so far this year. He really has. Yeah.
He's a big presence up there. So
so it's either him or Alex is the leading scorer this year. I don't have the statistics exactly, but I mean it's either him or Alex. Typically, Alex DiPiero, who's been the same thing, a fantastic player to watch this year. Talk about Alex and what he brings very well around a player.
Alex is exciting to watch. He brings a lot of energy. He's very energetic, and he brings a lot of speed on the outside, and he doesn't shy away from taking guys on. And his game has come a long way. He was always, go, 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 but now he's understanding when to go, when to bring it back, and maybe recycle the ball. So he's come a long way.
Can't forget Kai, who we did a feature story on. We've only got about a minute left, though. You've had a chance to watch him develop, obviously. You're his dad, but I mean, wow, what a great player he's turned out to be. You've seen his evolution. What have you seen about what he's become as a footballer?
Well, his decision-making and his vision is I think, outstanding. Yeah. And when his confidence is up, he can take control of the game. And
when is his confidence not up? From what I see from this kid, he is totally in control on the field.
Yes.
It seems like it all the time. Yeah. So one last question, then before we go, in the final stretch of the season now, schedule's winding down. What would you like to see from the team? I know it's 15 seconds, it's quick to ask, but I mean, what would you like to see down the stretch from this team?
Well, I'd like to see them continue what they've done in the last couple games. Is a great game to watch, great flowing game, possession. We like attacking possession. Yeah. And so it's just to keep the confidence up and just play really smart soccer.
Awesome, man. DFCacademy.ca if you want to find out more about it, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you so much for being here. You drove all the way down from Barrie in some horrible traffic, and I do appreciate it. Anyway, thanks so much.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, no problem. More CAF TV coming up in just a moment. Welcome back to CAF TV. GCS Academy has been a true success story so far this season. The squad currently sits second in the standings, and a big reason behind their consistency has been Nicholas Andriola. The Niagara native has advanced his game by playing with his hometown program, bringing not only exceptional skill, but also leadership qualities that showcase a maturity well beyond his years. Nicholas Andriola is the man in the middle for GCS Academy. He's one of the league's top midfielders for a multitude of reasons.
He's got great vision. He's really good at running with the ball at his feet. He's good for a goal. He's scored a few goals. I'm not exactly sure how many goals he's scored, but yeah, he's good late runs into the box. Just a really good dynamic midfielder, to be honest, box to box.
I feel like I bring that strength and that core in the midfield. I can always distribute the ball really good. I can always win headers in the air. If anyone's in trouble, I can kind of get them out in trouble, send through balls. I'm good defensively, so.
In past years, Andriola had to drive all the way to Mississauga to play for a top club. Now, he's thankful he can stay in his hometown of Niagara Falls and develop with GCS.
Yeah, it's a lot better just knowing that you can drive, 10, 15 minutes and you can be already on the pitch. Aaron Mills, long drive, an hour and a half, depending on traffic, and it's long nights.
The 14-year-old counts a Spanish powerhouse squad as his favorite team to cheer for.
My favorite team is Real Madrid because there's so many quality players, Bale, Ronaldo, James Rodriguez. I feel like their style of game really kind of suits me, and that's why maybe that's why I was attracted to him.
When it comes to a player comparison, GCS coach Davey Curry goes a bit more old school.
I would say, and it's going to be a huge compliment for him, but I don't even know if he's old enough, but Paul Scholes, like when Paul Scholes was in his prime, that's who he reminds me of. He scores a lot of late goals getting it in the box, but a super quiet guy, doesn't want to talk too much or anything like that. That's who he reminds me of, to be honest, except with Brownhill.
What truly separates Andriola from his peers in the eyes of Curry is his leadership and professional approach despite his young age.
He's always the first person at practice, he's the last to leave, he's always at any running that we do, which we don't do a lot of, but any running that we do, he's always there. Anytime we're doing technical work, he's always concentrating. When it comes to practice, he's one of those kids where when he's training, he can get the nonsense out of his head. He knows when to be serious, when it's all right to have a laugh and a joke and that type of thing. And to be a leader, I think that's a really good quality that he has. He's a very quiet leader, but he just leads by example all the time.
He may be quiet, but Andriola also happens to be the resident prankster on GCS.
Yeah, sometimes we play little jokes on each other. I like to keep it loose in the dressing room before we go on.
You stink!
Yeah, Nicholas, he's the silent assassin. He always gets this little look on his face when you know he's up to some type of things, and he'll always be hiding like one guy's shoe, or he'll be like hiding a shin guard or that type of thing, and he'll wait till the last second. Someone will be really panicking, especially because we're so far from home for the game. Somebody will be panicking, thinking they've lost something, and then he'll just pull it out the bag, and he's a good prankster for the team. He's a good kid overall.
Okay, so time to take a look now at the game scores that we unfortunately were not able to get highlights for last week. Epic Academy playing CAP. Epic comes out with the 3-1 win. And Epic were busy boys on Sunday as they had to play 2 games to make up for all the ones they've missed so far. They blanked DFC Academy in their second game 2-0. And then Burlington all over Jinga Academy by a 6-2 count. Jinga in tough so far. They still only won 1 game so far. Let's take a look at the Yogurtys Super Group standings to see where everyone sits so far. And Epic just rolling right along. 8 games played now. 8-0-0. Can't do much better than that. Look at that goal differential. GCS in second. Burlington in third, tied with Dragon Force, and Cap Academy sitting in 5th place right now with 9 points. Jinga, as mentioned, unfortunately just 1 win on the season so far and 3 points. Upcoming games: Saturday, August 22nd, Epic taking on Burlington at 10 a.m. Cap Academy and GCS, that's taking place at noon, and Dragon Force and Jinga at 2 p.m. All those matches taking place at Esther Shiner Stadium. And remember, CAFsoccer.com for all the latest news, stats, and standings. And that's all the time we've got for this week. Just remember, though, there's lots of different ways that you can keep up to date with all the age groups of the Canadian Academy of Football. Check out the league website at CAFsoccer.com or on Twitter at CAF_football. And you can follow our Facebook page as well. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'll see you next week for more CAF TV.